Hey, it's Brad Parker, Crystal Palace fan, and you are listening to the Drunkard United Football Show. It's a parade.
So you get a draw, and now you get the intro, is that it?
Well, I was just thinking because it was, he's our boss, Roy's our boss. Well, you got bossed by your boss there, Jose.
Yeah, fucking hell. Don't worry about it. They're just little ponies.
Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right day, the fucking Gooner Graham. Smell the Malort. Looks great in shorts. Sam Grammy.
Sam Graham.
Drunkard United! Drunkard United!
Hello and welcome to the Drunkard United Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and still with us, miraculously, my co-host, Samuel Graham. What's up, Sam?
Why am I still here miraculously?
You lost to fucking Burnley.
Yeah, it was pitiful, wasn't it? Burnley didn't do anything. We lost to ourselves.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. The number 4 overall pick cost me points this week. That was great.
Yeah.
Love it.
Absolutely brilliant.
We're recording at Studio H, just outside our nation's capital. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to rate, subscribe, review, and share with a footballing friend. And should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Sammy, why don't you tell the good people how they can get in touch?
Sure, you can get in touch with us on social media at DU Football Show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And then dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email. And we always respond. We love chatting with you guys. And if you like the show on Facebook, you'll also get an invite at some.
Remember,
somehow.
you don't get the invite.
Oh, that's right. You don't get the invite anymore. You got to find it. Search Drunkard United FC.
Thanks, Mark Zuckerberg.
Right. Search Drunkard United FC, and if it's our day on the algorithm, you'll be able to find us. And if not, you'll get a lot of dildo advertisements.
For Drunkard United FC?
I don't know what they do over there. I just made something up.
The shy calm globalists are fucking us over at Facebook.
Yeah, Umbrella Corp or whatever. What was the thing for Skynet?
Yep, Skynet. We're all going to get our microchips from the vaccine, right? It's all coming.
That's right.
Alex Jones told me so. Alex Jones told me so.
Did you see the My Body, My Choice as it relates to the vaccine? My Body, My Choice starter pack? Cocaine, vape, and White Claws.
There you go. That sounds about right.
So you're looking at the ingredients in those.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits.
But not White Claw.
Exactly. Although we drank them one time on the show. As the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Sammy, another top 20 from 2019.
Yes, this is Whiskey Advocate's number 19 from 2019. Also won a single gold at San Francisco that same year. It is a Japanese whiskey called Matsui. The Peated, which is a single malt Japanese whiskey from the Kuriyoshi distillery. Basically, we needed something a little warm and campfirey to warm my cold, dead heart after the result this weekend. So it's lightly peated. It's excellent, actually. Just a touch of iodine to it. But mostly I get lemon zest and campfire.
Yeah, it's a lovely little whiskey, isn't it? A lot of people don't know this with Japanese single malts. They tend to assume that they are exactly like Scotch. And they're not, because peat doesn't grow there. So peat is very expensive to bring there.
Yep.
So they tend to be barley based, but they tend to be barley based more in the regards of smoky, not peaty. So when you have one that has a peat influence to it, it's normally a rarity, and it's actually quite lovely.
And very nuanced.
Yeah.
96 proof on this one, so 48% by volume. And it'll run you between $79.99 and $84.99 on the shelf if you're able to find it.
Excellent. And a little hint, next week we're going to do one final whiskey from 2019. We have 3. Maybe we'll eventually find them, and if we do, we'll review them. But they're just becoming damn close to impossible.
Yep.
And we'll start to kick off the 2020 list, which got released about 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
And we already have 14 of the 20 because we have a problem.
Yeah, basically.
And I have a hobby. So let's go ahead and
apparently that is Munchausen syndrome over to me.
Let's have a great show.
Also, quick programming note. Yes, have a great show, everybody. Quick programming note. There will be extra content coming your way. So when we say next week we're going to do the last of the 2019 list for the top 20, we do mean next week.
Yeah.
Because you are going to get a Friday show recapping the midweek games and previewing the weekend.
Yep. Everybody gets doubled up on shows. We're going to we're going to cover each of the 10 games as opposed to doing 20 at once. Last season, they ended up being 2-hour shows, and it was just too much.
And y'all don't listen that long, so fuck you guys.
I love my listeners. The views of Sam Graham do not reflect the views of the Drunken United Football Show.
I am the Drunken United Football Show, so they absolutely reflect the views of the Drunken United Football Show.
That your only programming
Just
note?
make sure that you drink responsibly, please.
There you
How about that? Love it. All right, so all three of the top sides drop points, but they aren't really the talking points from the weekend. Fulham won, Liverpool won, Palace won, Tottenham won, Everton won, Chelsea 0.
You're absolutely right. Those three teams are not the talking points. The talking points to those games are Mo Salah waving his arms in the air like he just don't care. And Son and Benteke going off to the fucking races when they're supposed to be taking the knee. Those are the talking points from the games.
Yeah, that was brilliant, right?
Absolutely fantastic.
We got it right before the kickoff of Tottenham Chelsea. Yeah, it's Benteke and Son line up on their end line. The ref blows the whistle. Benteke starts to run. Son starts to hold him. They forgot that first whistle is when they're all supposed to take a knee for Black Lives Matter.
Now, see, I'd argue Benteke forgot. Son remembered and was trying to tell him, no, we take a knee now
He's
because
trying to
he's
hold him
such
back. Yeah.
a nice guy.
And
It's entirely possible.
And you know what he did? He said, Christian, we have to take a knee for the children.
Christian, your life
The
matters.
children.
Yeah. He gave
children.
He gave him a hug and said, Christian, your life matters. What a funny, a brilliant way to start that game. That was absolute, because I thought.
The best was when after Benteke
Yeah.
took his knee and then realized he was on the wrong side.
He got up, ran back, and then got back down on his knee again. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking brilliant.
And he took a little jab step and everything and did a little spin move.
Yeah.
He was off to the races.
So
so funny.
So Liverpool and Chelsea and Spurs, they all drop points, but let's face it, it's December. This shit's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's odd
definitely.
that it all happened in one weekend, but shit's going to happen.
This
right?
is how it goes. I mean, there's still extensive injury lists as well for everyone essentially except Chelsea.
Yeah, and
well, Tottenham really. It's mostly just Liverpool with the injuries.
Well, and they have people coming back, but honestly, like we could talk about them ad nauseum, right? It's easy to. I'd rather talk about what the three sides did and their game plans, because while all three teams had different formations, eerily, all of their game plans were very much the same.
They were all very industrious, and you guys especially. I mean, it was expected you were going to be more industrious than normal because you didn't have James. He wasn't even in the squad. But yeah, all three teams, Fulham, Palace, and Everton, were all very industrious and bossed the middle of the field. They really controlled the midfield and didn't allow those other three sides, Liverpool, Tottenham, and Chelsea, to establish themselves whatsoever.
It was a year ago, Sammy, when Big Dunk stood on that sidelines at Goodison against Chelsea, and they played a mean, hard, ugly match and found a way to win. I put on the armband.
They commemorated it with another one.
Put on the armband. The only thing that was missing from the end of that match was Big Dunk running around hugging a bunch of ball boys. But it was a mirror image to exactly what they did the last time they faced him at Goodison. Let's take a look first off. Strong central midfield play from all three teams right off the jump. And I'm going to kind of talk, if you don't mind, I want to talk about these all collectively because, again, I feel like they all kind of had the same game plan going into it.
They all had the same DNA, absolutely.
Fulham, you had Lamina and Anguissa just bossing the center of the pitch.
Yep.
MacArthur and Milivojevic for Palace, completely bossing the middle of the pitch. And Alan and Decore. Alan, there wasn't a frame where you did not see him somewhere near the ball. I mean, that man never stopped running. I think he's still fucking running right now.
He's probably how many times do you think Yannick Bolasie with his bike outside of Goodison ran into Allen, who's continuing to run? Bolasie doesn't even play there anymore.
You know, the amount of times Allen was getting fouled in the second half when Chelsea was getting frustrated, wouldn't be surprised if Bolasie ran him over a couple of times.
I think also that was Decore's best performance in an Everton shirt. He was spraying passes left and right, recovering well, breaking up play pretty well, and as you said, Allen worked his absolute tail off. But all three of these teams, as we said, were very industrious. They never stopped running. They never gave up. And those and they defended from the front as well. Their forwards were absolutely
the very next thing I have written.
Were absolutely involved in that defensive display, which helped, as we talked about off air, and I'm sure you have written down, and I'm about to bury the lead again.
No, please go ahead.
But it allowed those defenses the time and space to just do their job.
Right.
They didn't have to do anything extra.
So I have listed here, wingers play end to end. You had Dekovia, Reed, and Lookman running up and down the fucking pitch, goal line to goal line, the entire fucking match. You had Eze and Schlupp doing the same thing. By the way, goal scorers. Schlupp was a goal scorer. Reed was a goal scorer.
Eze hit the post as well.
And then you had Iwobi and Richarlison, both of them. I mean, just running till they couldn't run anymore. Those guys got subbed late in the match because they couldn't.
They just didn't have anything left in the tank.
Because all they did was, and what that ended up doing from them running as much as they did, particularly in the case of Fulham with Reed and Lookman, it made Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold had to stay home.
Yep.
They had to worry about him. The case, Iwobi kept Chilwell at bay. Chilwell had to worry about Iwobi running down the sideline like crazy.
So the other thing, as you're leading into here, is everyone attacked with pace down the wings as well, right? You forced that overload when the wingbacks come up, and then the central midfield joins in. You alleviated that overload because they had to worry about the pace on the outsides. So you kind of almost pinned back Liverpool, Tottenham, and Chelsea's outlets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Chelsea was to the point that all they could do was attack down the right-hand side.
Yep.
Pretty much Chelsea, are you ready for this one? They did hit a post, and a post does not count as a shot on goal, apparently.
Correct.
They didn't have a shot on goal in the second half in that Everton match. They did not have a shot. I mean, that's some work ethic from a defensive team.
Absolutely.
To have a team with the talent, the offensive talent of Chelsea, who has been on a fucking roll. They didn't even get a shot on target in the second half.
Now, that being said, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but
of course not.
Each of the three teams that got unexpected points there are quote unquote lesser teams. Right?
Of course.
So there were still chances by the opposition. Every single one of those goalkeepers made fantastic saves, stepped up, and stood on their heads.
You and I think exactly alike.
Absolutely.
It's the next fucking thing I had written down.
You had Pickford. You had Guaita making save after fucking save.
That free kick save from Guaita. Oh, my God.
And minus the penalty save, right, that should have been a save from Areola. Dare I say he was the tits that day.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Cox hurt. He can't talk about the cock, so now he's going to talk about them titties down.
What do you got to do?
Yeah,
what am I? I'm just looking for very punny.
And it's funny too because all three of them stood on their heads, but all three of them also weren't devoid of mistakes, right?
Absolutely.
You know,
the other thing, not necessarily from Lloris, because that was just a very good Palace goal. I think Lloris saw it late. Schlupp just was able to steal in and get it taken care of. But from Mendy, massive mistake.
Yeah.
In what he did and giving the penalty away. It was immediately after, and I wonder how much that fall had something to do with it, kind of landing almost on his shoulder. If he was still dazed, I mean, that was only 30 seconds later he gave the penalty away, if that.
Well, I was going to
And then Allison, multitude of rash decisions from him. Now, he wasn't made to pay for any of those in particular.
Right.
But it was out of his area 3 or 4 times, kind of in no man's land, and Fulham wasn't able to capitalize.
Right.
But he put his team under loads of pressure, and he's normally steady Eddie back there.
Well, I was going to say in the case of the keepers, the 3 keepers we had mentioned, they even made mistakes. So like Areola obviously coming off the line too early, which I hate that fucking rule. Guaita should have saved the ball against Harry Kane. He got caught wrong-footed, started to go one way and went the other. Pickford decided to slip and fall in the middle of the fucking pitch.
Right.
You know,
No, he was able to recover from that. But yeah, that was funny.
So all of that, and that led to exactly what you had said. The defense just got to be defenders. Like in the case of the Everton match, Mina and King get to hone in on Giroud.
Yep.
Who is effectively made
Useless.
100%. You know? And then they reached this point where, like I said, all they could do is attack down the right-hand side. They had nothing at all. And then you look at this too, it's not, even though the percentage of possession was low for each of these 3 teams, they had chances. Fulham could have won that game. Palace could have won that game.
Absolutely.
Everton could have scored a second or a third. There was definitely opportunities out of them. And it was just very, very interesting to see 3 different squads kind of employ the same tactic, but that also, more importantly, the managers got them to buy in and do it. Because it's easier said than done at times, right? And it helps, in the case of Everton, you get that quick goal. You're able to continue to play defensive ball and counterattack because that first goal really helps you fucking out a lot, right?
Absolutely.
Same thing applied for Fulham. You get that 1-0 lead, that allows you a little bit of liberties, Well,
this also smacks of where last season Liverpool would get these ugly wins. They would get these results, and they stormed their way to the Premier League title in almost record fashion.
Right.
With in terms of amount of time left in the season.
Yep.
But this smacks of hot potato.
Yeah.
What was it? 4 of the top 6 drop points.
Yeah. Only Leicester and Southampton got points.
Right. So this was, you take first. No, you take first. No, you take first. No, you take first, because we don't want it.
Yeah. Everybody they all had a chance to take first. They all did.
And in the case of Tottenham, especially in a London derby against lesser opposition, granted they have a good coach, but the way they were steamrolling people.
Hey, that's Jose's boss.
The way, listen,
Jose's boss.
The way they were steamrolling people.
Roy's our
in
boss.
Perfect Spursy fashion. Let's go top of the table, and then what do we do?
Fuck it right off.
Fuck it off. Fuck it completely off. But they got lucky. So did everybody else.
Yeah, everyone else did as well.
So that's the only reason they're still tops at the moment.
Yeah, this is a one-off, this happens. And there's going to be plenty of teams that are going to employ tactics like this against those sides and not be successful because
absolutely
it will be too much, or only one of the 2 wingers decides to run the full length of the field like crazy. Maybe the central midfield isn't able to boss the match.
Or VAR remembers it's owned by the McHenry Sports Group.
Did you catch
what's their name? Is it the Henry Sports Group?
I think it's the Henry Sports
not
Group.
McHenry, right?
I think it's the Henry Sports Group. Yeah.
Fuckers.
Either
way, I think they paid for most of the VAR stuff because come on.
Did you catch the Trent Alexander-Arnold sub?
Petulance.
Little bit of petulance. It was also very, maybe we'll give benefit of the doubt that Klopp was already planning on subbing him out because
he just came back from
injury. But it was mighty convenient that it was from a ball that he fucked off and kicked out of bounds for a corner that he was lazy getting to. It seemed very convenient that it happened right after that he
got subbed immediedely.
Yeah.
And then walked straight past Klopp.
Yep. Goes right
to his seat, which was a folding chair because it's Fulham.
And yeah.
It's very Fulhamish of you. And
they gave him a comfortable folding chair.
I heard something else funny today on another podcast that they were saying they can't wait for fans to be back in stands just because of some of the weird shit that people do. There was one story recounted at Wolves, actually, where apparently somebody's dad had was learning the recorder on the side, unbeknownst to anybody. And after the game, the child was going down to try to get autographs, and he looks back, and his father's playing the recorder, sat in his seat at the football match. Just like, why would you choose this place to practice? Also, why are you practicing the recorder? It's just very weird.
Well, you know, it's an instrument, and you got to put in your time, and you got to practice. That would be the Fulhamish answer, right?
There was another in Fulham. There was another story recounted where they were at the football, and this dad and his kid were just going to town on an advent calendar, just picking all the chocolates out. Sat right there in the stand.
Have you been keeping up on your advent calendar, Producer Mel?
Let me check.
Today would be the 14th. I would say you haven't been.
I think I have to do today's piece of chocolate.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
nope, I forgot
10,
the 9th.
11.
9th has already happened, hasn't it?
There's only
Yes, the
11
9th
and
has
there's
already
14 days.
Yeah, 9th is
it's a church.
very good. Okay, now you can go ahead and go back to mute. You can go back to mute button. I was just checking in on you there,
All right, I'm
killer.
going to sit here and pop chocolates now.
Hopefully it's not like the other chocolates.
No, but it for Palace, that they really need to have Eze and Zaha playing together regularly.
At the same time, yeah.
They're both playing on the same side of the pitch. They're really starting to build a good partnership. This team is really going to rely on that. And, you use Benteke while he's hot and he gets you a few goals, and then you go back to Ayew when you have to, or, Batshuayi when you need to, and you just kind of find the goals when you need them, and they should be fine,
His
I imagine.
movement and everything he's been doing, Benteke, looks like the Benteke from Villa.
Yeah.
Just a little older.
Yeah.
But other than that, his movement's good. His strength, his hold up play, has all been excellent. And he's amongst the goals now.
Yeah.
Over the last couple of weeks. So if you can get a tune out of him again, he's a very dangerous striker, very good striker. Not that long ago, until Lukaku came into the frame, he was Belgium's number 9.
Yeah, he was.
Don't forget.
Yeah, he was.
For one of the top-rated teams in the world.
Yeah.
He's a good player that lost his way a bit, had that big money move to Liverpool, and then fucked it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
precisely.
was completely devoid of confidence.
Yeah. Yeah. And good to see him getting goals. And, he didn't get one in this match, obviously, but it feels like they're all right. In the case of Fulham, you go back-to-back weeks against the last two defending champions. You lose respectively 2-0, and you get a point out of the other one. You got to be starting to feel pretty good about the confidence. It seems like the team is buying in and being part of what Parker's vision for the side is.
Absolutely. Danny Higginbottom on the desk said that this looks like a team that Scott Parker would have been proud to play in.
Yeah. And it also seems like a team that's probably could possibly be safe. Obviously, a lot of season to go, but at least from a few weeks ago, we were concerned about it. It seems like the pieces are starting to fall into place and work.
Tell you something. I'm concerned about them.
Okay.
From a different perspective.
Okay.
They may catch us.
Very, very true. Right now, you're having a little bit of trouble with just about anybody.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get the fuck off your phone and push the buttons.
There's breaking news happening when news feels like breaking.
All right.
Edit this shit anyways. Except for this. I'm going to leave this
Yeah,
in.
now you can't take it out.
Rounding out the rest of the league. And so that happened. Professional over here. West Ham 2, Leeds 1, Villa 1, Wolverhampton 0, Newcastle 2, West Brom 1, Southampton 3, Sheffield 0, Leicester 3, Brighton 0, Burnley 1, Arsenal 0. Finally, a really good Friday Night Lights match. Normally, the Friday night games tend to be, it's none of the European teams, right? Because they have just played on Tuesday,
Wednesday, or Thursday, yeah.
And, it ends up normally being some bottom half of the table teams. And this ended up lining up to be two really, we talked about it a ton on Injury Time last week about how this is two very different styles of teams that are going to kind of go at a head collision. And it's exactly what it was. I mean, it was a fabulous game to watch. It was really fun.
Sam, Injury Time. Isn't that the show that you can find by going to www.patreon.com/DUFootballShow and signing up to one of our top 2 tiers to receive that?
I love that show because I don't have a mute button.
But you do now. Yeah,
absolutely right. It was end-to-end stuff. Also, Thomas Suchek, thank you very much, my friend. Get me a goal from midfield in the fantasy team.
Yep.
Love seeing it. Actually lost my brother a bet.
Oh, yeah.
Everything that he had a in-game parlay, and everything that he had was going true, but he needed under 10.5 corners.
Okay.
That last like foray forward from Leeds where nobody said anything to Suchek, right?
Right.
And he was by himself. There was only his own players around him. Ball would have gone out for a goal kick, but he headed it because nobody talked to him.
Right.
Was the 11th corner and fucked my brother's bet.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it sucks. He called me mad as shit.
I'd tell him I feel sorry for him here, but I know he doesn't fucking listen. So,
wait. It was an awesome game. It was a bit fortunate for Leeds, actually, that Fabianski was adjudged to be offside.
That PK rule fucking sucks.
I know. And what advantage did he gain from that millimeter of his heel being off? It was a poorly taken penalty that my grandmother could have saved.
Also another one of those pause step penalties. So
absolutely.
If the shooter, as we said a few weeks ago, if the shooter is allowed to pause, that is going to make the keeper move.
They're also not allowed to pause. Right. They have to keep their momentum moving forward.
Right. Well, they do the skip or they do the hop.
Right.
And here's what really sucks is that Fabianski gets a yellow for the foul, which deserve it, right? He then gets the penalty called against him, right? If he goes early off the line a second time, that is a second yellow card.
Oh, wow, really?
And he would have been sent off. Yeah, the commentators mentioned that. They're like, well, now he has to take the penalty again, and he absolutely can't come off the line early, or else he'll see a second yellow and be sent off the pitch. So you basically now have just said, okay, the goalkeeper's just going to stand up and watch the ball go in the net.
But didn't they also fix the double jeopardy rule? Come on.
Yeah, it just...
it doesn't make any sense.
I don't get why this is something that needs to be looked at. It's already such an advantage to the shooter.
Right.
And then now you just make it impossible. You really do. Because again, a shit penalty got rewarded to take another penalty.
Yeah.
Because it was a shit penalty shot.
And he was barely off his line.
Yeah.
Now, there was one, I think it may have been De Gea earlier in the season. That was a full 1.5 feet off the line. I couldn't even tell from the video they showed that Fabianski's heel was off the line.
It barely.
I really couldn't.
Barely.
Anyway, Klick rescored his penalty. Well done to him, I guess. But Leeds couldn't finish any of the other chances. Fabianski, again, played very well, other than that one incident. Had some great saves. West Ham were very good value for money. Kept pouring forward, never gave up. It's almost like they have an angry Scotsman in charge of them as well, much like Everton's performance. And Souček and Agbana getting the goals there.
Two stats. West Ham, best team in the league on set pieces. Leeds, worst team in the league on set pieces. 2-1 win to West Ham on two fucking set pieces.
Goals. Yeah, absolutely.
There, game, set, match. There it is, right there.
Yep.
That's the game.
100%.
Yeah. All right, so going into the next one here, the early game had Villa and Wolverhampton. The commentator used, and I quote, an obstinate petulance to this match. 7 yellow cards with 2 sending offs and a PK in the 90th plus minute. People may not want to call this a derby. That screamed a fucking derby to me.
Yeah, it did. I thought we were getting on to the picture that was posted.
Oh,
Speaking of Dem T's dough.
The Pep and Jack step.
Oh, the Pogba and Jack step. That face. Rest of her is perfectly fine. That face, dope.
Ooh. Well, people wake up in the morning and take pictures after they've been drinking, man.
Of course.
He looked like hell, too.
He did look like hell. And I want to know who took the picture.
Right. Who was in there?
Everyone zooming in to that little weird globy ball in the corner.
What is that thing?
I don't know, but everyone's like, ooh, there's Keed. Who took the picture? No evidence.
Yeah.
And no one's come forward. No one's identified anything. And it's just,
It has to be Ross Barkley.
Chewing on a green crayon.
It has to be Ross Barkley, right?
I take picture.
Correct. It has to be Ross Barkley.
That's the lead suspect right now is Ross Barkley.
Yeah. All the other fucking comments online, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a wealth of misogyny and racism.
Yeah. Yeah. We've all made mistakes on things, but
Some
that
of
was
us 10 seconds ago.
Oh my God. Let's get to the actual game.
it wasn't my cup of tea. Let's just say that.
Chippy fucking game, man.
It was.
Chippy.
Dude.
Chippy game. And Wolves
It was fantastic.
Wolves have got to feel hard stung. They should have probably gotten out of there with a draw.
Another match with an angry Scotsman.
Well,
with it
but
again.
That's true.
But don't make that mistake.
Was it Podence hit the post in this one, or was it
Yeah.
the kid Silva? One of the two hit the post in this
Silva
one
did.
as well.
It was
Silva.
Silva
And-
and got his own rebound and missed after that.
a multitude of chances as well for Wolves. But I mean, Martinez again.
Let's
It was a weekend for goalkeepers.
Can we
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about
Was playing
player of the
fantastic.
match?
Yeah,
Everyone,
it was awesome.
pundits are all saying Arsenal's biggest mistake was letting Martinez go to Villa.
100%. Completely agree.
We are
Spot on,
so freaking happy to have him.
Oh, you'd still
even
suck
when Wolves
if
tried
you
to,
had him in net and not Leno.
even when
You'd
Wolves
still be
tried
shit
to
right now.
kick him in the head.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
That was a nasty one. Martinez goes, "Fuck you! You score nothing now."
Yeah, except Jack scores a lot.
Well, you know, Captain Jack gets it done
Nah, it's
on and off the field.
Makes his best mate take the photo.
I mean, it was clearly a penalty, right? On, the foul on McGinn.
Yes.
It was definitely a penalty, and it was unfortunate.
Agreed.
It was unfortunate, but as a side Wolves, you have to see it out. Now, something that a lot of people will say is that they're going to go, oh, well, they're missing Jimenez. Well, Podence had opportunities. Neto had opportunities.
They didn't have
Silva
Jimenez
had
against us for 88 minutes and did their thing.
Yeah. Silva had opportunities. Martinez played a hell of a match.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
if one or two of those had gone in, nobody would be saying, "Oh, they're missing Raul Jimenez." No, their offense looks okay.
No, they would have.
I think they're going to be all right.
They would have done the opposite. They would have given him credit.
Yeah.
For not needing Jimenez.
Yeah, precisely.
Oh, look, they're getting goals from elsewhere. Maybe they won't miss him so much.
Yeah.
But instead, oh man, but we need Jimenez. I mean, that's normal media spin.
Right.
That's a regular media spin. You can't really blame them for that. And also trying to deflect from the players on the field so they don't feel the pressure for missing those chances. Right? It's people. Arsene Wenger used to be classic for it. Mm-hmm. Where he used to go, when asked about, do you think that was a penalty that you gave away? Yeah, well, I haven't seen it. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But when it was for us, should that have been a penalty? Clear and obvious, a definite penalty. You're just trying to deflect from your team's poor performance, right?
Of course.
Of whatever that happens to be. In this case, it was a lack of finishing. So, but we really miss Raul. He's our number one finisher. We really miss him, and blah blah blah. It takes the onus off of Podence and the young Silva, right? And Mourinho's classic for it. His team play like shit. We're little ponies, right? Because and what all of us included in this room, only talked about the pony comment. We didn't talk about Tottenham setting up shop and fucking having 28% of the ball against Chelsea. We didn't talk about that. We talked about
City and Chelsea.
No,
both
it was
of them.
and we're little ponies now, and that's what we fucking got on. That's a normal coach's job, right? Is to spin things to try or a normal job for people to do is to spin things and take the pressure off their team. That's it.
Well, I mean,
So I don't lend too much to that. You take it with a pinch of salt.
Let's also face it. We're fascinated by everything Jose says and watching Bielsa walk around in circles. I mean, that pretty much does it for us.
Yeah, I mean,
if
that's
either
true.
one of those two things happen, we're just like in front of the TV, just gape a jaw gape, just going, look, he's walking in circles.
Yeah.
Jose said something silly. That's fun.
Yeah.
Funny now where we're going through the matches, and it's like the games we didn't really expect much from this weekend turned out being pretty fucking entertaining games. Really, really did. Now heading into the next one, not so much entertaining, actually a little bit depressing. A depleted Newcastle score, 13 seconds in on West Brom?
So the quality in this game wasn't very good.
No.
But it did open up with some. Callum Wilson did well to dispossess the right back from West Brom. Can't remember who it was. Maybe it was Ivanovic. And find the run of Joe Linton, who played a phenomenal ball. Nobody saw that was on but him. Played it in behind the central defender to Miguel Amarone running in. Fantastic ball and a great finish. After that, it was just I'd love to call it a heavyweight match, but it's Newcastle and West Brom. So it was more of a welterweight undercard. But it was just a boxing match. It was just, punch back and forth and see what sticks. Kind of throwing left hooks up there, hoping your opponent has his arm down. You know what I mean?
Both the goals in the second half were lovely, though.
The Dwight Gale header was absolutely phenomenal.
And was it Furlong for West Brom that did the one toucher that went into the far corner?
Yeah, I believe so.
Both of those goals were just beautiful.
And that was it. It was 3 moments of magic. The rest of the game, both teams created chances, but it wasn't pretty. Let's put it that way.
I'd like to think that Miguel Amarone, after scoring that goal, ran by Brucey and said, "Fuck you, play me."
Yeah.
I'd like to think he said that.
Uh-huh.
And something that's becoming very evident about West Brom. There's a lot of talent on that team. Gallagher's a hell of a player.
They are soft.
Diangana's not doing that great right now, but he's still very talented. Pereira, very talented. Johnston
Diangana's 17 or something?
18, I believe, 18 or 19.
You can't hinge your hopes on a fucking 19-year-old, 18-year-old.
And then, Sean Johnston in the net's quite talented. But here's what we're noticing. There's a lot of talent. There's no Prem talent on that team. There's a couple of aging veterans that have some Prem experience, but the bulk of that team, there's zero Prem experience, and it's starting to show.
Yeah, absolutely.
It really is starting to show.
They also I don't think they have the heart. They don't have the desire, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can't see a game out. They can't just get points. Just period. It just, they can't see a game out. Wolves made a mistake, right? They're proven winners, but they made a mistake. They fucked it, giving that penalty away to Villa. Once Newcastle scored the second goal in the 80th minute, that was it. There was never going to be a comeback from West Brom. Right. It just wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, and now I know a few weeks ago,
same thing against Chelsea. They were up 3-0. Couldn't see it out. Tied 3-3 earlier in the season. I think they've given away more leads than anybody else in the Premier League.
Yeah. It's about 3 weeks ago, I'm like, looking at both of those teams, Fulham and West Brom. It seems like West Brom's got a little more heart than Fulham. Now, 3 weeks later, but Fulham seems like the team that's going to be up.
Absolutely.
Now, this can all change after December, right? December is the great equalizer.
Of course it is, especially this year.
It's about to come fast and furious.
With the truncated preseason, this December is going to be even more so the great equalizer. I think they throughout the league, there's 40 matches over 19 days or something.
Yeah.
And it's going to take its toll. It's already taking its toll on players. We see players pulling up constantly. Thomas Partey with his hamstring, last in the Europa League, and when was that?
No, that was the game last week.
That was last Sunday, wasn't it?
That was the North London.
That's right. It was against Tottenham. Fuck me.
All your shit performances are just starting to become a blur.
Together,
huh?
Yeah. But you see all of these muscle injuries, right? Everything that's going on, all these players are fucking exhausted. We've been through this before. They're all exhausted. And even the ones that are fit are tired, right? Liverpool the other week had, 3 youth team players playing in their back line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, Trent Alexander-Arnold came back, right? Featured for 65 minutes or whatever it was. But this is going to exacerbate right now. This is the time you're going to see everything turn to shit.
Yeah.
And we're basically going to be watching the EPL too in January.
I think we're going to see a lot of low scoring games where there was so much goals scored early on because people were quick coming back from the turnover of the season. I think injuries, pace of play, the amount of games, I think you're going to see it really start to slow down on the players as well.
Absolutely.
Southampton did exactly what they needed to do against a bad team. 3 goals from 3 different players, none of them being their top goal scorer. You couldn't be happier, right? That's exactly what you want your fucking team to do. They find themselves in the top 4, and dare I say Sheffield is starting to flirt with Derby County worst fucking season ever in the Prem kind of level.
Entirely possible. I think it's only a matter of time before both Bilic and Wilder are gone.
Yeah.
They cannot continue on this way, especially with the schedule coming up. The board need to do something, or else I could see both teams going down fairly easily.
Yeah, agreed.
The one reason I really am not scared about relegation is because I know there's 3 teams shitter than us.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, yes.
Somewhere between Fulham, Brighton, West Brom, and Sheffield United, you'll find your 3 relegation places, I think.
Except for you're going to lose to Southampton, then you're going to lose to Chelsea, then you're going to lose to us. They're going to fire. They're going to fire Arteta, and then Sam, be ready. Big Sam Allardyce to come to the rescue of Arsenal to keep you up.
Did you happen to see the Charm City Gooners match thread?
Mm-mm.
Somebody called for Big Sam in that match thread. And I said, we already have the sit back and do nothing mentality. We don't need him. It's obviously not working. And then somebody else said, maybe he could revive the local pie industry. And Pieberry Corner would come back.
Aw, Pieberry Corner. I've been there. It was pretty awesome.
And it's gone now because of COVID.
I know, it sucks.
So I said, what we need to do is if we're going to do that, we might as well get Big Sam in, make Steve Bruce his assistant, right? And then the pie eating goalkeeper from the team we faced in the FA Cup a few years ago.
Oh, the Oxford keeper.
Get him in.
And
get them all in.
And get Sparky to be
loves
the third
pie.
coach.
Yeah, he loves a pie as well.
Definitely. Love it.
And then Pieberry come back and flourish.
And funny enough, in the next match, the exact same thing. Fucking Leicester dominates Brighton. 2 goals
these were the same situations as we talked about the first 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Leicester, now this one in particular was a little bit more even on possession and statistics.
Right.
However, Leicester that ruthless. Southampton completely dominated.
Yeah.
Their match.
Maddison gets 2, Vardy gets 1. Madison's second goal, goal number 3.
Listen to some of these.
That was
it's a peach.
Nasty.
Absolute peach. 54.5% for Leicester to 45.5% for Brighton in terms of possession. And 6 shots on target for Leicester to 4 shots on target for Brighton. So it was fairly similar numbers, to be honest. They both created chances. They both had double-digit shots overall. Not necessarily on target, but shots overall. But Leicester were just ruthless. It was just Madison's first finish. Just completely professional.
Mm-hmm.
It's completely professional. Bang. What you worried about? Cold-hearted, side foot from the edge of the box, through bodies, finds the bottom corner.
Mm-hmm.
And then Vardy. Great counterattack. Lovely ball put in. Vardy dink past the keeper. Boom. Done.
Finds himself right into space.
What
boom.
you worried about?
Like,
very professional.
Jamie F. and Vardy doing what Jamie F. and Vardy fucking does, man. Just doing work.
It was very Hitman-like.
Yeah.
Just very professional. Gloves on, shoot the guy in the head, go get lunch.
Yeah, over.
That was it.
Collect my paycheck and call it a
Job
fucking
done.
day.
What you worried about?
Yeah. And then there was nothing in this. There was nothing Brighton could do in the second half. I've got an interesting take.
All right.
Brighton aren't very good. Graham Potter's overrated.
Graham Potter's overrated. Yes.
Yeah.
I think Brighton are decent, but they have nobody to finish off those moves. They have no forward to finish what they're doing.
Just because you play attractive soccer doesn't mean you're good if you can't fucking win games. They can't win games.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they're creating the chances. They're a decent team.
Mm-hmm.
The chances are being created. They have no tip to their spear is the problem, right? Danny Welbeck hasn't scored goals everywhere he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Has not scored goals everywhere he's gone. Neil makes less for a reason.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Score.
Doesn't score as often as he should.
Connolly's talented, but he's exceptionally young.
If you put a halfway decent striker at the tip of that, I think you're fine.
Okay.
If they had Callum Wilson, I think they'd be 6 points better off than they are right now.
Okay. Fair enough. I tend to think that where we're looking at the relegation battle, all things being equal, you have Burnley and them fighting out for a spot. Like, let's say West Brom and Sheffield are going down, right? Fulham finds a way to get themselves out of it a little, right? And let's just say it's Brighton and Burnley coming down the stretch. I put my money on Burnley staying up than I would fucking Brighton.
But you have proven goal scorers. You have Ashley Barnes and Chris Woods.
Yes. You tried to call them the same
put
person.
them together.
They kind of are the same person.
True. And the other funny thing, I don't know, Mel, if you saw it in DUFC, somebody took a picture of Rob Holding standing next to Chris Wood, and the jersey's red from left to right, Holding Wood.
I think that was Smokey did that one.
Very funny.
Holding Wood.
Yeah, my first thought when I saw that was, y'all really are a bunch of middle schoolers.
Yeah.
We are.
Well, the other thing, I missed the
I was thinking about
opportunity.
earlier when you're
We did a whole show talking about Ting Ting.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you see my comment to that? I said, well, technically, the game takes place in a box. So the only way to be safe and not come in the box is Holding Wood.
Yep, bunch of middle schoolers.
So speaking of Burnley and Holding Wood, let's go ahead and pass that shot of Malort over to Sam Graham. Gunners get a red card. Their top player finally scores a goal in the wrong net. And COVID protocol applies to the eyes and not just the nose and the mouth. That would be the highlights of the Arsenal-Burnley match.
Yeah. Basically, we sucked again, played wide, pumped the ball into the box against Tarkovsky and Ben Mee.
Yeah.
With Aubameyang. We're playing like we still have Giroud.
Yeah. And Giroud would have had a tough time against Tarkovsky and Ben Mee. Like, why are you just floating ball? Like,
I don't understand.
This is exactly what James Tarkovsky wants you to do.
We have 2, maybe 3 clear-cut chances, right? I think the main one being the cutback from Tierney to Laka.
Right.
And Laka firing in. Nick Pope made an amazing save and good for him. I actually like Nick Pope. I rape Nick Pope. We've talked about that.
We talked about it a ton last week. He should be England's number 1.
These people continue to do the same stupid ass shit and expect a different result from it. And I can't fucking believe the bullshit I'm watching. They're Arsenal in fucking 14th motherfucking
14th place.
14th place. 12 games in.
Yeah, like I said, I think your next 3 are...
Is that called bottom of the table?
Close. Close.
It's bottom half of the table.
I think we're at the end of what you could call mid-table.
You're on the very end.
No,
like
if we're
hanging off the
15th,
cliff.
yeah. If we fall to 15th, we're bottom 3rd.
And your next 3 games are against 3 teams in the top 7.
Yeah.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
Like how Houston is at the end of his mid-40s.
Correct. Absolutely.
All right,
Yeah.
I gotcha.
And only has one habit.
One hobby.
Hobby.
Thank you.
Probably because he forgot the other 2 hobbies because he's so old.
You know what? You're grieving. I'll give you that one.
All right. Here's this. Oh, Captain, my captain.
And in breaking news, Sam, I just want to let you know the official Twitter is no longer called.
Ooh, it just hit me.
Is no longer called Big Sam's Bottle of Malort.
Okay.
He has officially changed title to Mikel Arteta's Bottle of Malort.
Nice.
He who does the most gets possession of the Twitter handle. And I don't know. I think it's Baby Yoda that runs that Twitter handle.
Fuck, baby. Fuck. Spoiler alert. Fuck Grogu.
Time to chat Manchester Derby. Manchester United 0, Manchester City 0. Sam, this week, Manchester United hosted Manchester City in a Premier League match. Both sides recorded 2 shots on goal. This is where you're supposed to do color.
Oh, there's nothing to color in. I think you pretty much covered it all.
John Stones and Luke Shaw were the post-game pressers, for fuck's sake.
Invigorating.
You don't even deserve to be in so that happened. Seriously. Fuck right off. It's time to tell you what little we know. It is prediction time.
We're going to get fucking pelters for that. You know that, right? We're going to get fucking pelters for that. But guess what? I don't care.
It's what you fucking deserve.
What's the song? I don't care.
I don't care. I mean, who would have ever thought
falling asleep during a Manchester derby would be a thing?
I
didn't either.
That I would have to use the Cardiff City Huddersfield line on Manchester United and Manchester fucking City and a Manchester fucking derby. What a shit fucking match. Jesus, that was a waste of fucking time.
Funny.
And get to watch 2 out of favor fucking defenders get to talk about the fucking match because they were the bright spots of it. It
made me feel a lot better about my game, I'll tell you that. At least we had a red,
an own goal, and a dude that just decided to put his mask over his eyes and his mouth and nose.
Yeah.
Like,
did you see that, Mel? His I know this is a visual medium. I'm sorry, but he had his mask just barely touching his bottom lip and covering all the way up to his brow, so he didn't have to watch the absolute shit show.
If the masks keeps the germs out, it'll also keep the bad match out.
Dare I say, a Gooner version of the Aints.
Yeah.
The old paper bag.
Absolutely.
All right. So normality is restored. All of you fuckers missed and I hit. Ha ha ha. Kind of fucking fitting that worked out that way.
Well, damn it.
Graham is now down 269, but hey, it's still 69, you fucking douchebag. What do you got for us this week?
As I referenced earlier, fucking VAR couldn't even help Liverpool for my cup of losers.
There you go. Feed the cup of losers.
Fucking VAR couldn't even help Liverpool. Damn it.
But you know what? At least Mo Salah found Jesus. Hey.
That's funny. So this week I have just a 2-way parlay this time for the midweek.
Okay.
I've got Chelsea to beat Wolves and Southampton to beat Arsenal in a 2-way parlay. Arsenal are at home, by the way.
You're hoping you lose this bet, right?
I'm hoping a little bit of reverse psychology steps in. Every time last season, the 3 times I think I did it, I bet against Arsenal, they ended up winning. So if they win, yeah, sure, I lose the bet, but we've got 3 points for the first time in 4 games.
Yeah, you'll be happy about that.
Yeah, I'll be fine with it. So anyway, Chelsea to beat Wolves, Southampton to beat Arsenal, and that will give me plus 459, which were also odds I couldn't turn down.
Oh, good odds.
Southampton are playing quite well, obviously.
That gets you in the positive.
Chelsea overall are playing quite well, despite their last 2 games. It's still creating chances in those games. And Wolves don't have a tip to the spear at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, like we talked about.
Yeah.
I do think Jimenez is a miss. He is the only consistent goal scorer. Sure, Podence and Silva hasn't scored yet, but creates chances. They've gotten themselves in good positions, but they don't score consistently. So without Raul Jimenez, they don't have a consistent goal scorer. I think Chelsea has a good opportunity here.
I think the kid showed some moments, and I think as the kid starts to find his way, I think he'll be all right. I mean, he's an 18-year-old. It's going to be tough, and there's a lot of fucking weight on your shoulders, but he'll get there.
Right.
He'll get there.
Yep.
So we got Patty on the line.
Yep.
Let's give him his audio.
And now it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
Pat, by the way, I just want to say you were completely in the right for picking Spurs. You should have picked Spurs. It just fucking sucks. Sometimes the games just don't go your way, man.
Yeah, that was kind of crappy.
But hey, actually, this is a good opportunity to just make a little nod to the NFL, because sitting here are 4, well, with you on the line, 4 big fans of the Washington football team. And we know that both Taylor and Smokey happen to like them boys in last. who's in first place at the NFC East right now currently?
The old football
It's some
team.
football team.
Yeah.
From Washington.
Yeah,
Some
but if
local football team.
well, I was going to say, but if Dwayne Haskins is starting, it won't be very long that they're in first place because, man, we need Smith back this week, against Seattle. It's going to be rough.
Well, it's a calf injury. I bet you they just probably put him on the bench in the second half because they felt like they were going to win that game without him. So why bother risking him to get hurt for a longer term? So.
But yeah, because our defense is our best offense at this point. I mean, the defense, I think, has scored more touchdowns in that game, right?
The offense did not record a touchdown in that game.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, as much as I'm enjoying this chat, mind you, we're talking about the wrong kind of fucking football.
That's right. Let's get back to the other footy. So I just wanted to remind the Dem Boys fans out there, just wanted to get that little subtle jab in and
Of course.
talk about how we're in first place.
Listen, I'm all for it. Didn't need to dissect the game, though.
Okay.
For a different podcast.
Pat's a degenerate gambler. He likes talking about all sports.
Hey, hashtag first place. Let's go.
All right. Do it, Patty. What do you got for us?
Nah, well, I'm back down to -707, and since there's mid-week games and weekend games on the schedule this week, I'm going to put 3 bets in at 100 a game. First, I'm going to take a midweek game. The Spurs are playing Liverpool. I'm going to take the Spurs at +0.5 at +105. Saturday, both of your guys are playing each other, so I'm going to take that in prime time, no less. And it's a pick 'em, but heavily favored is Everton at -135, and I'll take that to win 100. And lastly, I will parlay 100 on Man U at -153 to win outright, and the over goals, 3 goals at -125 against Leeds to win 196.
Ooh, that's
and
aggressive.
That's it. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
It is aggressive.
Is this one of the first times you've ever picked my team to win? Because normally you never pick my
No,
team
I've
to
been
win.
picking your team to win this year.
I mean,
your
well,
team's
I was going to say it is my team facing his team, and his team sucks fucking balls right now.
Well, I know.
Which
I
means
was
you're going to
surprised
win, right,
if,
Sam?
Hopefully, yeah.
Right, or at least draw because
Yeah.
But I'm surprised it's a pick 'em. I figured Everton would be getting at least favored by a half a goal or something.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. Maybe
Everton, obviously they just got the win this week, but they have been on a bit of a losing streak. I think they've won 2 of their last 6. So that's probably why.
What's Arsenal been on?
Oh, Jesus.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Did Kitty have anything to say this week? I'm ready to dance.
All righty, Pat. We'll talk to you next Monday, okay?
All right,
damn
guys,
it.
have a good week.
All right,
you too, brother.
We'll see you.
Good.
Bye.
Son of a bitch. Everybody's sticking the boot in today.
Just
My
another
goodness.
week of winners for me. I'm now up $315. And when you use my tried and true system,
Here it goes.
that normally means you have to press an audio button there, darling.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
No, she was doing her job
Waiting for
properly.
I was waiting for your percentages of 20% of the time. I pressed the button 50% of the time.
Little less eye roll, little more production, whole lot of fucking mute button. 38.4% of the time, it works 100% of the time. For the midweek, I'm going to do exactly what I did last week. I'm going to take a winner and a goal scorer. I'm going to go with Man U to beat Sheffield and Bruno to score at +170. Vardy to score and win was +180.
Pens don't count. I'm saying that right now.
No. You know what counts? The bookie, not Sam Graham. I don't pay Sam Graham. I pay a fucking bookie.
Penalties don't count. I'm saying that right now. I will play the rest of the season under protest if he scores a penalty.
All right, so this segment's been an absolute train wreck. Maybe we can fix it and make it a little bit better. No pressure at all, producer Mel.
Uh-oh, he must have written something nice this week.
I don't know. I haven't read it yet.
We give you Kitty the chicken.
Dance, Graham, dance.
So Kitty took a hard loss this week and now finds herself at 5/7. So I decided to give a match near and dear to my heart with Aston Villa hosting Burnley. So Kitty quickly jumped in the coop, grabbed her cell phone, and pulled out an Instagram post of her hanging out front row at an Ozzy Osbourne concert with none other than Tom Hanks and Brendan Gleeson.
You know who Brendan Gleeson is, right?
Nope.
Isn't Brendan Gleeson the center of the earth guy?
It was
Monty Python?
No, Brendan
From The
Gleeson
Mummy.
is gangs in New York, the one with the shillelagh.
Oh, he has a name? I thought he was just that guy in those movies.
I knew it wasn't that Brendan, but what's his name? Just
Brandon. Well, fuck. Now I can't
Fraser.
remember. Brandon Fraser.
that was on purpose. I knew it wasn't him.
Well, I mean, I should have recognized Brendan Gleeson from the photograph on Kitty's Instagram page.
Of course, you should have.
My bad. But the trio are die-hard villains, and clearly she predicts a victory for Villa. Well, there we go. And always, everybody, remember to please gamble legally and responsibly.
It is time to tell you about our fantasy league that is almost pulled up on my phone.
I can fill in.
I fucked
number 4 overall first round pick, frickin' Aubameyang scores an own goal and doesn't even get me my 2 fucking participation points. He can't even manage to get me 2 fucking points. He's fucking useless. By the way, everybody that is...
He didn't even get his participation trophy.
Yeah, because he gave up
Fucking
an own goal.
millennials, man.
Zero.
Fucking millennials.
Zero.
It's a shame you didn't have Jamie Vardy on your team.
Yeah, no shit. But he was already gone. I just want to let everybody know right now I'm accepting offers. I want to get rid of him. Fucking come talk to me, everybody. I don't want him anymore.
Pro Arsenal Agenda, managed by me, got the win this week, 35-34 over self-proclaimed fantasy guru JB McConville.
Ooh.
And maybe Arsenal will hire Ted Lasso in the next few weeks. Who knows? Thus rendering his team name useless. FC Mouth Breathers from Russ lost 33-44 to Smokey. Ray took out Lindsay. Wow, 34-29. Lindsay's on a bit of a losing streak, I think. Isn't she?
Ray is also very quietly having a good he's in third and just kind of slowly crawling up there. And 1 and 2 ain't doing too good right now.
No, they're falling apart. Yeah. Keith for Magnificent Magpies picked up the win over David Geckel, 45-41.
Fantasy golf will be a lot of fun, Mr. Geckel.
Elliot winning 41-34 over Big Sam. Unfortunate for you, my friend.
Yeah.
Allen, 29. Carlos Brow, first place team, lost 29-40 to old Robbie Boy.
He's on a losing
Tech.
streak.
Oh, yeah. That's 2-3 in a row, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think
2 in a row. 2 in a row,
I think Taylor put a curse on him.
Yeah.
Yep,
definitely.
He beat Taylor. He got all chesty, and then he ran into the buzzsaw that is big fucking Sam.
No, you know what happened? You know what turned it? Taylor got goalkeeper points.
That's it. But he didn't get goalkeeper points this week because De Gea played. In fact, De Gea got the shutout. Elliot had him against me.
But what I'm saying is that was the moment, much like when Australia caught on fire, that was the moment that the year completely went to shit. Is what I'm saying. Kenny lost in an unfortunate circumstances, 38-40 to Alberto. And then Taylor, no cock, 0 cash, lost. Won 41-25 over Chris. Firecock.
Remember last week it was this amp goes to 13 or he made it was a
Spinal Tap
reference that he had made last week. This is the new team name because
this amp goes to 11.
Because no, he had a different name against Firecock last week because of his reference to Spinal Tap. So he just changed his team name this week.
You're talking about Taylor.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Taylor
I
changed his team name this week.
Okay.
He changed his team name this week because, in fact, Koch is hurt, and Cash is out on 5 yellows. So no Koch.
No Koch.
Zero cash.
That's pretty good.
And he also said very much a reflection of his life.
All right. So James Smokey does move up at 10-0-2. Very impressive into first place. Carlos Brow dropping down in the second, 9-0-3.
They both lost to me.
Ray up to third, 8-1-3. Elliott in fourth, 8-0-4. Lindsay 7-0-5 in fifth. Alberto up at 7-0-5, but less points. Into sixth. Sam down to seventh, 6-0-6.
Yeah, we swapped.
JB 6-0-6. Keith 6-0-6. Me 6-0-6. Excuse me, in 10th. I burped there. 11th is Taylor at 5-1-6. Rob at 5-0-7. Kenny at 3-1-8. Chris at 3-1-8, but less points. Mouth Breather FC. Russ, you're at 3-0-9, my friend. And David at 2-0-10. Pretty much on par, but completely unintended pun, to be guessing pars. To be guessing pars next season. I didn't write this. I came up with it as I was talking.
You want to try it again?
Yeah.
All right.
Dave at 2-0-10, on par with betting pars next season.
There you go.
Yes, very
there
good.
we go.
I will say in defense of one
sake.
Mr. Geckel, we do have if you look at his points, he's like better than half the league on points. He's just every week he plays, he happens to play against the team that scores the most fucking points. His point total is high as shit. It's like every week he loses 38-36, like every week, and then somebody else wins like 21-18.
Oh shit, you're right.
He needs to hire himself a lawyer and get those points double checked.
Oh, he does.
Maybe he needs to stand outside the State House. I mean, sorry.
He needs to stand outside the podcast studio
bad,
and
yeah.
demand a recount.
Sorry, 441 he's got. Russ on 334, 306 for Chris, 354 for Kenny, 420 for Rob. That fits.
Yeah.
That fits. 410 for Taylor, 395 for me, 400 for Keith, and then finally it starts to go above his point total. Ray only at 416. So he's actually beating out the third place team in points.
Yeah, but is in dead last.
But is in dead last. He could be in ninth based on point total alone.
In any fantasy sports, every season you have someone who does this.
Yeah.
That is like dead last, and you look at their points, they're like, I score 40 points, but I lose 41 to fucking 40. And then I look at someone who won 10-8. Like, that's exactly what fucking happens.
I told you about Parks' fantasy football. Mm-hmm. There was somebody, because of the COVID lists, they both only had like 4 players that played.
Oh, Jesus, that's
somebody
crazy.
won 76-62 in fantasy football. Yeah. Won 76-62 or some shit. And it was basically because of the COVID list.
Oh, shit.
Where both teams, fantasy teams, were absolutely decimated. Very funny stuff.
Geckel, hang in there, man. I very much look forward to hearing what you have to plan for your lineup for Pebble Beach. I really look forward to it.
Oh, I can't wait. And we have to do it. How are we going to make him do it? Is it going to be like DraftKings, or do we have to do a
I'm going to probably...
We're going to do the NBC Sports Predictor.
No,
so we have like 3 or 4 categories he has to bet on.
I'm probably going to do DraftKings and set up an account for us, since the person will change every year, and we just give them the login information to do DraftKings kind of thing. And
make sure they have their own goddamn credit card. Jesus Christ.
And then they will have to. Well, no, you can do the free one. There's free ones.
Fuck that shit.
So, and they
you
will have
that
to.
Bad, you deserve it.
and then they have to report on the Drunken United FC page every week what they're doing in fantasy golf for the entire year.
Oh, we're going over it as well.
Oh yeah. It'll definitely get covered.
You know what,
So,
Geckel, I'll sign your petition. # stop the steal.
Heard stop the steal. All right. Well, that's about wraps it up, boys and girls. Sammy, any parting words?
No, last week on, was it Tuesday, there was an incident in the Champions League.
Oh, yeah?
A Romanian referee referred to, apparently, according to Demba Ba, as reported by ESPN, referred to the assistant coach of Başak Şehir as a Negro when describing him to the referee as to who to give a card to, or when asked by the bench who the card was given to. That part's a little bit
So the guy must have not had a number on his jersey?
It was an assistant coach. Pierre Weibo is a Cameroonian guy. And it's a Turkish team. Most of the coaches are Turkish. And then him. And then so somebody asked, like, who do we give it to, whatever, whatever that situation was on the confusion on the sideline. And he goes, him, that one, the black one, the Negro. That. Romanian referee, Eastern Europe. Usually not the most open-minded.
Nope.
So used a terribly offensive term. Demba Ba was reported by ESPN walking onto the field and grabbing the attention of the main referee, of the head ref, saying, why'd he say Negro? Why'd he call him a Negro?
Right.
Well,
Why does he have to use that word?
Yeah.
Why can't it just be the guy in the hat, the guy right there, the assistant coach? There's so many other descriptors.
It's the fourth official. You could legitimately walk right up to the bench
from him
and grab him and go, this guy right here, it's him. Like,
but chose his race.
That easy.
Chose his race to describe him in when he was standing there, which is terribly inappropriate. So it's did he use a racist term? Yeah, definitely. As we discussed off air, did not call him a racist term. Did not berate him in some sort of way. Can we use this as a teaching moment? Yes.
That's my point. Is let's take this as an opportunity to teach people.
He apologized straight away. Not realizing in the heat of the moment, quote unquote, I guess, what he said or that it was offensive.
I mean, he apologized within 20, 30 minutes of the incident. I mean, he was credit to that fourth official. He was quick, very quick with.
But you have to.
I really didn't mean to. I really didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
In the situation we find ourselves these days, right? In as fast as we are growing. As a human race, I guess, you have to be aware of what is offensive and what isn't, and you have to take that and move forward with it, especially as it pertains to race, because for far too long, those things have been swept under the rug. They've been accepted. They've been okay. It's not appropriate. And like I said, he wasn't berating him. He wasn't calling him directly this term, and there's obviously a tier or two above what he did in terms of severity. So you have to take him at his word for this one. And should he lose his job? I still agree with that. But let's teach and let's talk about it and let's learn from it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And I mean, pretty powerful moment that both teams just
walked
decided,
off, and fucking credit to them. Fucking credit to them for that.
Not cool. Not going to let this stand.
Well,
We're leaving. We're done.
Even better, let me tell you about this. They didn't want to take part in the match if he was associated with it, right? Apparently, the UEFA official that was there offered to swap a VAR ref for that fourth official, right? So he wouldn't be in the stadium. He'd be in the truck outside, right? The player said, will he still be officiating this match in any capacity? And the UEFA said, yeah, he'll be the VAR because we don't have anybody else to fill in. We're not going back on the field unless he is removed from this game, period.
We'll play tomorrow.
Yep.
And that's exactly what they did. They played the next day. Everybody lined up in a circle together, every other player of the team around each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So take it as a teaching moment, learn, grow from it, and that's all you can do.
Yep.
And don't be a fucking cunt.
Yeah, just don't. DBAC. It's not that hard.
It's an easy rule.
It's very simple. And if you fuck up, right, learn.
Yeah.
Happened to me 30 minutes ago. Do what you got to do. Grow, learn.
And
be open-minded. Fuck's sake. It sucks because I start to feel like Slipknot has it right, yeah? You all saw this on Facebook yesterday. People equal shit.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just how it goes. People equal shit, and the general populace are a bunch of cunts. But you can take it upon yourself.
Go read the comments.
You can take it upon yourself to not be a cunt and do that, and you can affect change from the grassroots level.
It's like I said, I would like to see where this goes on forward for that official. It seems like he's taking it as an opportunity to learn, and he's immediately admitting fault and wants to grow from it. Let's not necessarily crucify the gentleman. When someone legitimately wants to try to make change and wants to learn from it, because I guarantee you, I will say something stupid in my lifetime. Sam, you will say something stupid in your lifetime. Melissa,
I have.
You will say something stupid
And
in your lifetime.
Yeah, fair enough.
So you need to be able to have the opportunity to learn from that. And and at least the first glance is, this guy wants to learn from it. Let's give him that opportunity.
That's fair, and hopefully that's the example that UEFA wants to set. The problem is it happened on international television.
Yeah.
Where people pay extra money beyond their cable bill to be able to watch it.
Yep.
And it happened in such a public forum that UEFA will want to save face.
Oh, yeah.
And
so he's going to lose his job.
Well, but that's the thing. People want heads to roll. That's what cancel culture is, right?
I'm not a fan of cancel culture.
Well, the man's still going to have a job reffing games in Romania. He's just not going to. He's just not going to do Champions League.
When it's genuine, I agree. No. When the remorse is genuine, I should clarify that.
Yeah.
When the remorse is genuine, I agree with that.
Yeah.
There should be no cancel culture, right? Because they're actually trying to be better. But when someone's a super cunt, if you will, you have to cancel them.
Millwall.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking cancel Millwall.
Canceled. You
By
have
the way,
to cancel them.
love QPR. Loved QPR scoring a goal, running right in front of the Millwall fans, taking a knee and raising the fist in the air right in front of their face.
Brilliant.
That was pretty fucking
Absolutely
brilliant.
Anyway,
Best.
that's my closing.
Mel, you have something that touches home a little bit locally.
Do I? Oh, I
got
do.
after you said touches, I got nervous.
It's only in the notes. I only handed you the notes and told you.
He reminded me twice.
Her notes are facing the wrong direction.
Yeah. There is a ND football show. We're going to be sharing it out because the website is not up yet. It'll be launching on Wednesday, and you're hearing this on Tuesday. But here in Maryland, in Baltimore, where Graham lives, in Anne Arundel County, where Houston and I live, because of COVID, all the restaurants have been shut down again and relegated to carry out only.
I like putting in a football term with that.
Yeah.
What?
Relegated into carry out only.
Yes,
That's
thank you.
Way to tie it together.
Actually, I didn't even know that I
brilliant.
did that. It just happened naturally.
That's absolutely
Y'all
brilliant.
have completely manipulated my brain and to start talking football speak.
Hashtag synergy.
God damn it. Sorry, Russ. So we'll be sharing out the link, and there's going to be a couple GoFundMes. And most importantly, there is a Christmas drive for all of the kitchen workers, bartenders, servers, front of house that can no longer afford Christmas presents for their children because, well, cunts don't want to wear masks in restaurants, and our numbers keep going up. And I'm not even going to make a commentary on whether it's right or wrong. I just want to help the people, our friends that are affected. So we'll be sharing out the links on how you can support your local restaurateur. And if you want to help buy a Christmas present for a busser's kid that probably needs it, we'll send out that information.
On top of that, because I didn't know this was happening because I don't read the notes either.
Why? And everybody wonders why I'm a fucking tyrant.
He's such a fucking tyrant.
On top of that, do not order Grubhub. Do not order DoorDash. Do not order Uber Eats because they eat into the restaurant's profit.
I was about to say the exact same thing.
I understand. Okay,
if
you order from here's my general rule: if you're ordering from a chain, use an app.
Right.
If you're ordering from a local, independently owned restaurant, order directly from the restaurant. Go pick the shit up. Do curbside. Yeah. I ordered from the Abbey. I shared it on our Instagram page. I ordered from the Abbey on Sunday for the game, and I walked in. They had the side door open, and they had it roped off. You walked up to the bar. You paid. You received your food. Right. Actually, I paid online. Didn't have to give my credit card. I received my food, and I left. And they had it cordoned off. It was the corner of the bar, right, where you walked in. and you couldn't access the rest of the restaurant. Nobody could, and the front door was locked. So you just walked into the corner of the bar. Bang! I'm Sam Graham. Here's my order number. Show them on your phone. They give you your order. You fucking roll. Yeah.
Yep.
So and they receive 100% of that profit, obviously minus the credit card fee, but 100% of that profit versus DoorDash or Uber Eats or whoever
Takes a
that
cut
takes
for
10 or 12 or
doing
15,
nothing. Yep.
sometimes up to 30 fucking percent
Yeah.
of that margin. And that fucks the restaurant actually further because they're putting in all of the effort, all of the work. And now instead of making $9 on that order, they make $1. But
And-
that cook still has to be paid.
And don't think that 10 to 30% goes to the driver that's taking it to you.
Absolutely doesn't.
5% of it doesn't.
No
It
way.
goes into the fucking corporation's
Correct.
pocket. And by the way, let your fucking local restaurant see your face and know that you love, appreciate, and support them.
Absolutely.
Now, this is something that's going on in Maryland. I implore everyone, wherever you are across the country, whoever you can help,
across the
help
world, mate.
help your local restaurants. Help your. I don't want. Taylor, I love you. I don't want you to spend money in Annapolis. I want you to spend money in Kansas. Take care of your people.
Yeah.
From
James, I want
Australia
you to
to
spend money. I
California
want you to
to
spend-
New Hampshire to Maine, tip your server and tip them well.
All right, Billy Joe.
I was going to say smoke.
It was like,
Smokey.
what was that? The American Idiot. It was like from Anaheim to the Middle East. Wasn't that the lyric?
Smokey, when you climb out of the woods of wherever you are in the North Atlantic.
Do you even have restaurants? Answer that question, Smokey. Email in if you even have fucking restaurants.
But our Houston contingent, our Carolina
I bet you
contingent.
Uber Eats in where Smokey is a hunter.
Yeah.
He just kills it, brings it to you.
So
Sorry.
sorry,
I apologize.
but I implore all of you guys, honestly, everybody, look at your local market, look at what you can do to help. Obviously, spending your money in those accounts help, but find the charities that are doing stuff for those people, buy their kids some fucking Christmas presents.
And if you're listening to
buy them
this,
Christmas dinner. It's
and
not that hard to do.
You need help? Send us an email.
Email in.
Send us an email.
Email in. Them fucking go on WBAL's website. It's a television station here in Baltimore. Go on WBAL's website. They had I cried for 45 fucking minutes in my garage yesterday. I called you, told you about it.
What happened?
They published lists to Santa from kids this year. Again, they always do.
Yeah.
But it was, I don't need anything. Please deliver the vaccine to every doctor's office. It was, my mom had to pay for the funeral of my grandma and my uncle, and my shoes are kind of tattered. So if you can find the time, maybe deliver me some Nikes, but my mom can't afford them. And it was just absolutely gut wrenching.
Yeah.
Some of those letters, and anything you can do to help anyone. Not even in the restaurant industry, but they have always been there for us. That's why we're a thing. That's why we do what we do, is because we love drinking. We love being at the pub. I can't wait to get back to the pub and watch a football match with my friends. Yeah,
I miss it.
with
I miss-
like-minded fucking people that sing the same songs I sing. I can't wait for that. And
I miss it. I miss it
but
so much.
anything you can do to help anybody, do it. Period.
And again, if you need help, reach us out.
Hit us
send
up.
some help your way.
Hit us up.
All right, that wraps it up, boys and girls. Next up, injury time. You don't need to fucking plug it. We've talked enough as it is. We're giving you more shows this week. We're going to be back on fucking Thursday doing it again. Everybody gets 2 shows, and if you're a Patreon listener, you get 4 fucking shows. So, till Thursday, kids.
Can't believe you cunts made me cry on air.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Smell the Malort. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United! hit the fucking mute button.